Okay, we ready for today's activity class?
Yeah.
All right, great. Today we're going to work as teams and compete against each other and to see which team is the best at budgeting. We've talked about the importance of spending less than you earn and having to make those tough choices when it comes to what you want or need compared to what you can afford. Remember that?
Yeah.
All right, well first, let's divide up into groups. Okay, class, now listen closely as I go through the instructions. There's a lot to catch and a lot to go over. Each team is going to receive a set of category cards. They look just like this. This one happens to say professional services. There are 30 category cards in each set. Each card is labeled with an item that costs money and should be considered when deciding on categories for a personal spending plan. Because of limited income, each team will only have enough money to pay for 18 of the cards in the monthly budget. Your team will have to decide which 12 cards to leave off the budget for the month. Class, you still with me?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to be drawing 10 scenario cards at random. Each team that has that category card in their pile of 18 cards must show it to the scorekeeper, okay? Those teams earn a number of points indicated on the scorecard. Since some expenses are more necessary than others, some cards are worth more points. The team with the most points at the end wins the game. And I'm certain you all want to win the game, right? Right. All right. Who's feeling lucky? Okay, let's see. Ella, if I can please have you help me pass on the cards, we'll get the game started.
I think it's going to be fun. I mean, it seems really organized, and Mr. Dans did a good job of keeping us going. My team's totally going to win.
I'm so glad I had everything separated and divided, and that I read through the activity ahead of time. Being prepared saved me a lot of time.
Hi, I'm Laura Goodman with Junior Achievement USA. Thank you for being a JA volunteer. You probably have a lot of questions about your upcoming volunteer experience, so I hope we answer those questions in this video. During the activity portion of a JA session, you can have a lot of moving pieces and parts to manage. The activity is the bulk of your time spent with the students, and this video will share tips and techniques that will help you to not only lead a smooth activity, but to engage the students in the learning process and turn the work of learning over to them. The activity follows the introduction and is the second step of the workshop model instruction, a methodology of teaching. It can be challenging to provide clear instructions that are easy for students to understand. Careful planning is key for a smooth transition to the activity and for providing students with a clear sense of purpose. Here are a few tips for introducing the activity to the students. Practice. When preparing for your JA sessions, pull out the activity materials and get a good look at what you're handing out to the students and what the students will be doing. By the time you're ready to teach, the pieces and the process will be familiar. Don't do everything at once. Students need time to absorb and process all the moving pieces and parts. Try dividing them into groups, then giving instructions, and then handing out materials. This way, you have their full attention during the instructions. Utilize student or teacher assistance for materials distribution. You have a lot going on, so ask for help with passing out materials and organizing students into groups. They know who works well together and who doesn't. Ask questions to make sure the students understand. You may want to recap the instructions by writing them on the board. Have fun. You're the lucky one who helps students learn while having fun.
It doesn't fit. I need help.
Hi there, group. How we doing?
Good.
I noticed when we started off, everybody was involved in the discussion. Now it seems there's a little bit of confusion going on.
Yeah.
What seems to be slowing you down?
We're not agreeing on budget choices. We're having trouble figuring out which ones are more important.
Okay, well, that's not uncommon at all. So maybe let me see if I can help you with that. Let's talk about certain categories could be more relevant in our lives than others. For an example, for myself, if I chose not to pay my personal income taxes to the IRS, or if I chose not to pay my home mortgage, what do you think would happen? Probably pretty negative things?
Yes.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay. So remember, the key to the game is that we need to spend less than we earn.
Yeah, that makes sense. Some categories must be considered and planned for, but not everything is important because we all have different wants and needs.
This is You're not even doing anything.
Hi, everyone. How are things going? It seems that group might be having some difficulty selecting the category cards, or are you already done, or have any questions?
We're finished.
Excellent. Well, Mary, can you then share with me what you think might be part of some of the critical decisions and categories that you choose to potentially win the game?
We figured that some categories were more important than others, things we had to pay for each month, so we tried to keep those cards.
Okay, well, that makes good sense, because the essential categories are probably going to be worth more points, because they're the expenses that must be managed on a monthly basis. Ben, did you make any sacrifices for the team or for yourself in making these decisions?
The group decided to vote against selecting one of the categories that I wanted.
Okay, I understand. When the goal is to spend less than you earn, everything cannot be in the spending plan, and you can't spend everything you want. Great work, team. You guys did a really good job. I'm going to go around, check with the other teams. When they're ready, we'll start pulling scenario cards, determine our winner. I think you guys did a great job and good teamwork.
It's important, but not like that.
I don't understand.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Well, we thought we had it figured out, but we really don't know where to begin.
Okay, well, that's not uncommon at all. Would it be helpful if I gave you a short recap?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have the 30 category cards, correct?
Yeah.
So we're going to go through and pick out the 18 most essential of those category cards.
Okay.
All right? Because that's all you're going to have for your monthly expenditures to be allowed. So when you get done, you're going to have 12 cards you're going to have to take out, and I'll walk back around and collect those from you. Once you do that, I will then get the game started by drawing a scenario card.
Okay, now I have a place to start.
Great. We all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah.
Wow, there was a lot to manage during that activity. I thought I did a good job of explaining the directions, but I realized how important it was that I walked around and visited with each group to see if they understood the directions, how they're doing, and if they had any questions. It definitely required more management with this age group, but I enjoyed seeing how they learn new concepts. It's so interesting to hear what they're thinking.
That was cool. I actually learned a lot and had fun. I have a lot of decisions to make when I grow up.
We just observed the activity portion of the JA session. Each junior achievement session follows the workshop model instruction. This model is widely recognized as a best practice for engaging students in the learning process and achieving great learning outcomes. At its core, a JA session is comprised of 3 parts: an introduction, activity portion, and summary and review. As you can see, demonstrated in this pie chart, by this time in the session, the students have completed the introduction, where the volunteer set the purpose for the session, gauged what the students already know about the concepts, and presented new information to the students. The bulk of the time of each JA session is spent in this portion of the lesson, the interactive activity. During this time, the volunteer turns the work of learning over to the students. They are the ones doing the thinking, reading, writing, talking, and problem solving. Your role as the volunteer is to facilitate the activity and support the students in completing their work. Provide clear instructions of the activity. Demonstrate tasks or skills as necessary. Set expectations for student participation and completed work. Monitor students' work. Listen closely. Encourage cooperation and creativity. First, it's important to provide clear instructions for the activity and demonstrate tasks or skills as necessary. Remember that young children have difficulty remembering a sequence of more than 2 instructions at once. Next, set expectations for student participation and completed work. As students work through the task, continuously monitor their progress. Ensure students are on task. Reteach anything from the introduction that they didn't understand. Ask questions to get students moving forward to encourage deeper thinking. Give feedback on their progress. As you circulate around the room, listen carefully to the students. Redirect any students who are not on task. If students seem confused, revisit the concepts from the introduction that they didn't understand. Converse with individuals or small groups and ask questions to get them moving forward or to encourage deeper thinking. Be prepared to provide relevant and authentic examples of concepts from work or home. Finally, give them feedback, acknowledging what they are doing well and assisting with problem solving will help your students feel comfortable and have greater success progressing through the JA activity.